So do you sometimes catch yourself craving more sugar than usual and eating more chocolate or ice cream or cake than you would usually do without any seeming kind of reason, except that you might start wondering whether you are craving more sweetness in your life, more joy and happiness, and try to find this in sugar. So this is a question a client recently asked me in our session, because that was something that she noticed herself doing. And then she asked me, so how can I bring more joy into my life? How can I bring more happiness into my life? Now, the very pat answer to that question would be, find something that gives you joy and then do as much of it as you possibly can. Which, if you're struggling already, is a singularly unhelpful answer. At least, I always thought so. So let's try something different. If this is something that you're wondering yourself, if this is a question that you've been inquiring into yourself, here's an idea. Find some kind of container that you like looking at, like a special kind of jar or a box, or, well, I mean, if it's a sprinkly, sparkly, pink princess jewelry box, as long as it gives you joy, it's fine. And then throughout the day, notice every time there is something that makes you happy. Could be something small, like the sunshine falling through the canopy of leaves to dapple on the ground, or a cat coming by to say hello, or picking fresh strawberries and eating them right where you are, or laughing until you cry at the most ridiculous joke ever that is so stupid that it's become funny again. And every time something like that happens, get yourself a pen and a piece of paper and write it down. And then you put that piece of paper in your container. And you continue doing that for as long as feels right for you. In my case, the first time I did it for a few months, maybe half a year, until the end of the year. And then I started again at the beginning of a year and did it for the entire year. Every time something happened and I didn't have a piece of paper and a pen ready, I'd make a mental note. And once I had a piece of paper and a pen ready, I wrote these things down. Put the little piece of paper in my jar. And at the end of the year, in a little ceremony, I opened the jar, spread out all the pieces of paper, and I was quite surprised how many there were. Spread them out and just looked at them. Looked at every single one of them. It was an amazing experience. So this is a little exercise, if you want to call it that, by the name of the happiness jar. And it has several really, really useful purposes. For one thing, it keeps you, or it helps to keep awareness more in the moment, more in what is currently going on. Secondly, it helps you learn, come more into acquaintance with the feeling of happiness inside of you. And then you write it down, and by that time you write it down, you might have, or the feeling might not be as strong anymore, but you remember the feeling, and so you repeat it, and you put your little piece of paper into the jar, and maybe sometime throughout a year, or however long you feel to do this, you just look at all the pieces of paper in that container, and you remind yourself how often you've been happy throughout your average day. As I said, for me, it was vastly helpful. It really brought me into much closer contact with, yeah, joy, happiness, just how it felt for me internally. You know, the beauty of the little moments. So if all of that resonates with you, maybe just give it a try and see what happens. Although I would also say that sometimes you simply need more sugar than you would usually crave. And I have found if you're in one of those phases, it's really, really important to just let yourself eat what you feel drawn to without judging yourself. That can be happiness.